Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today I'm playing with some design ideas for this 1930s Hearts and Flowers quilt. Now this is a quilt I purchased at an antique shop, and I purchased it because I like the background. The background is a violet color, and that's a little bit unusual. Most of the time you'll see white or an off-white color. Now the Hearts and Flowers pattern is similar to a Dresden plate in that it's made up of blades, but these blades are wider at the end and they all come together at a point in the center. There's, in a Dresden plate, you would have an opening here that you would cover with an applique circle. Now since all of these seams come together at a point, we've got a lot of fabric here in the center, and this is really thick right here. So my design choices are going to be something that's going to avoid having to go through the center here. If I tried that, even with my long arm machine, I run the risk of breaking needles and throwing my timing out of whack, and I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to come up with something that I don't have to worry about that. Now of course traditionally this would probably all be stitched in a 1/4 inch outline like this, which would look really good in this quilt. But another thing you could do kind of a fan design, just going back and forth and just going probably within a 1/4 of an inch of where all of those seams connect, and just doing that all the way around. Another thing you could do is you could do these, but just do them real narrow. Do the matchstick quilting that you see a lot of right now. You could do that back and forth. That would be a very dense quilting, and that would be a good choice if you're going to do a dense background on the quilt. Now if you like this kind of idea but you don't want to do the straight lines, because that would probably require using a ruler, and every time you use a ruler it slows you down, what you could do is a serpentine, and you could just start by going over your seam and then coming down a little ways, and then do another line down, another one up, and go around in the ditch and then do another one down. And you could do that all the way across. Another thing you could do, kind of serpentine, but you could do it sideways. And you can alternate your designs between blades, like on your solid blade do one design, and on your floral blade do something different. And I think that would be really nice. Another thing you could do is do a motif in each one of these. So you could do like a flower, come on up, do a circle, and you can do the cabbage rose type design, maybe put a little leaf on it, you know, something like that. Or if you want to, you could just kind of double up your design like this, or you could do your outline and then do like maybe a swirl in here, or leave your outline off. A lot depends on how much quilting that you want to put in your quilt here. Now if you want to do feathers, you could use your seam as your guide, and you could start your feathers like this. I'm just filling up space, and come down and do the same on the other side. And probably one in the center to kind of tie it all together. You do it like that. And then you could also put just an individual feather in here. This one's a little bit one-sided. And I'm going pretty fast here to kind of speed up the video a little bit. And you can do an individual feather in each one of these. Now if you want to do continuous curve, let's see, I would start at the end and go around, and you can make these curves as deep or as shallow as you'd like. come to the top and then go around the outside. This way you don't have to break your thread. You can just keep quilting, go all the way around this. And you can see how fast that would go. This is avoiding the center here. And if you want to, you could start out maybe by quilting a circle around here and then do your continuous curve coming to those points there. And then you have like a sunflower design. And then if you want to add some filler, you could always add some more in here. And just come around and do some more. Depending on how dense you want to make it. And if you want to, you can go back around, like here I started to go around the top. You could do another line of quilting around the top. So that'd give you a pretty design. The background is shaped almost like a bow tie. Here we go. There's the outline. But if you look at it, where 4 blocks come together, then you have this kind of design here. So I want to look at this section first. And the block would be, the ends would be over here. And I wanted to look at some continuous curve. So let's do this. And my last quilt had a lot of feathers in it, so I'm kind of over feathers for right now, so I'm looking for other designs to do. We could do something like this. There we go. And then if we want to fill up more, we'll go like this. So you'd have something like that. And then you'd have this space here that you could also kind of come down like this if you want. Just adding more lines to fill up space. If you can see this a lot better. And instead of curving this up, you could just go straight. Just kind of outline stitch the rest of it. Another thing you could do is just put a motif in here, like if we want to do the flowers. You could put flowers in there. I want to try the swirl in the center, and then we're going to come out. And then some of these feathers are pretty long, so if you want to make that bigger, you can, or you can break those up, kind of like I did with the Bethlehem Star Quilt. Like this. And you can use the back of this feather as the spine for your next set of feathers. And come back down. Something like that. So you'd have to decide between this side of the feather and that side of the feather, which you like. I tend to like this one better, even though these feathers are a little bit long. I kind of like this better. And I probably would do probably have this spiral a little bit tighter. I wouldn't have as much open space. And you could also do a traditional feather wreath and just have to reach out. Let's do a circle about this size, and then here's kind of my guideline here, and then do my feathers in. And then come out. And reach all the way up into that corner. And this would look pretty. And don't get discouraged if you don't like your drawing, because if you're like me, you quilt a lot better than you draw. So this is just practice anyway. This isn't your final product. So you could do that between all of your blades, all your plates. Now the trick is to balance what you're doing in the background with what you're doing in your plates here. Now if you want to look at the space as the bow ties instead of where the four sections come together, here's the end of the bow tie, and make a hook and then add my petals, add a leaf, and same on this side. And just fall back down, and then you can put a little design like that. And you could do a small feather design in here, kind of starting at the same idea. And let's do, I think I'm going to let that go. And then build your feathers up. And these would be small because you don't have a whole lot of space in there. And do the same on this side. Do something like that. If you want, you could just do an outline. And then you could also echo that. You could do that a couple of times. Something like that. So the 1001 designs that you could do for this. There's an unlimited number of designs you could do. I've practiced on this quilt several times over this weekend, and every time I work on it I come up with more and more ideas, and I really don't have the time to put them all in one video. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope it gave you some ideas, and so if you do like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks for watching.